Yep, ready.
And we're back with our second session of the Exalted running series, Exalted Edge of the World, or Edge of Creation, sorry. A real quick couple notes I need to make, some upkeep things before we get started. To begin with, I wasn't applying the supernal ability correctly. We noted down what our supernal ability was, but I didn't have the rules for it at the time. However, I now have the cinder block of a book that came out for this this game, and it's, to be fair, it's not the writer's fault necessarily. It was the person who made the Patreon page, Kickstarter. They had a bunch of stretch goals that were add this to the core book, and they met every single stretch goal and then some. So they had to put a lot into the core book, and it shows. But supernal ability, what it does is, mechanically, all it does is it lets you choose any charms in your chosen ability without regards to your essence requirements. So a lot of them are like Essence 2, Essence 3, Essence 4, Essence 5 that you guys couldn't get right away.
Right.
And your supernal ability you could. And they did that to make each cast feel a little bit more unique, and also each character feel a little bit more unique right off the bat. Because in the previous edition, people would be like, what's the best way to create a Dawn cast, like the fightiest fight guy ever? And they're like, play a Xanath cast or a Twilight cast instead. And they'd be like, what? Because their cast abilities, the Twilight one had the resist damage effect, and that was straight up better than anything the Dawncast had as far as combat was concerned. So to make the best fighty fight guy, you actually made it Twilight, which is kind of the opposite of what they were going for. Twilight was supposed to be your artisan, your medic, your sort of crafting kind of person.
Well, that's lame.
Magician even. So they changed that in this edition, and I think it's been it's a really good addition to the game. Unfortunately, I didn't let you guys apply that. Sorry about that. But there's good news. You guys get 5 XP apiece.
Cool.
For going through your first session.
Cool. Where would we mark that?
It's
right
experience.
Yeah, this thing down here.
There is an additional effect. Once per session, you can get one of 2 different types of expression bonuses. They are called Solar XP, and they can only be used on not charms. It's kind of weird seeming to me, but yeah. That's what the rules are. There's 2 different ways. So there is your expression bonus, which is expressing, supporting, or engaging an intimacy, and a major or defining intimacy, in a way that reveals something about your character, develops your personality, or provides a character moment that everyone at the table enjoys. For that, Dan, you're going to get your 2 for your intimacy being triggered. That was the first time it's been triggered in this game, and so that was an important moment. Beyond that, you can also be significantly challenged, endangered, or harmed in the course of protecting or upholding one of your intimacies, or being significantly impeded, endangered, or harmed by a flaw. I guess that's what I was going for, was your flaw. Your flaw of the you don't like being slowed down by others.
Yeah, by limit trigger.
Yeah, or by their stupidity. Your limit trigger.
Okay.
You can also get a roll bonus. You can do that by doing your cast thing, or by giving the spotlight to somebody else for the scene so that they can do their thing. So intentionally seating the spotlight of a scene's focus to another player's character in such a way that it makes that character shine in the role of their cast, or directly supporting them in a cool and dramatic expression of their cast function. Beyond that, Scott, for Dawncast, if you defeat a powerful enemy, defend a vulnerable circlemate through skill of arms using martial prowess to directly advance a major or defining principle, or using martial prowess to directly protect a major or defining tie. So basically, if you do something fighty specifically to uphold what your character's about, or to defend one of your group mates. Tim, for Nightcast, removing a major impediment to the character or circle's goals through assassination, blackmail, or other underhanded means, stealing something that directly further the character or circle's goals, gaining a significant advantage over a dangerous enemy through infiltration or stealth, upholding or protecting a major defining principle through criminal means, larceny, robbery, poisoning, so forth. So that's basically doing something underhanded in a way that furthers your goals a lot is what you get points for. And then for the Eclipse, this would be you, Dan, bringing 2 or more parties with a meaningful dispute to accords, so basically how your character was created.
Okay.
Gaining a noteworthy advantage for the character or circle through diplomatic means. Successfully navigating or thwarting social or geographical obstacles preventing the character or circle from achieving a significant goal. So that's geographical as well. So, flying the group over the mountain somehow, because those are cast abilities for Eclipse. Exploiting a cultural tradition or legal system in furtherance of a major defining intimacy. Bringing someone's intimacies closer to aligning with those of the Eclipse or with the goals of the circle. And inspiring or taking part in the creation or transformation of a social institution. So all those things fit for you.
So pretty much everyone's things for that are what we designed our characters to be. 'Cause my guy's a protector.
Yeah, and that's intentional. They specifically want those things to be that way.
Okay.
I could argue that my installing of that intimacy into Tim to the group brings us closer to being a circle.
You gave him an intimacy? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I could also argue that
he convinced
grabbing
me.
that guy that was charging you was protecting you.
He convinced me to join the party.
Yeah, I guess both of those can fit. So you guys can get your roll bonus for that.
Cool.
I did not give
What is?
you so it's a roll. It's 2. You get 2 solar XP for it. It's the same same way.
Cool.
So you can get a total of 9 XP per session this way.
Wow.
And if you guys want to, you can start to spend them. They take like days and weeks to train up, depending on what it is. But you've got, and I don't know, I might waive some of that, if not most of that in most situations. Training time isn't something I'm the biggest fan of, because generally you're training the whole time. So
Yeah.
everything you're doing is training towards. So if you have either you spend the training time or you provide a reasonable explanation of, oh yeah, I've been doing that the whole time, that's why it's getting better.
Yeah.
So like, if you have on your phones or whatever, the page number is 177 for the PDF.
Yeah, the only thing that I would be interested in upping is supernal ability charms.
Yeah, grabbing some of those charms. And yeah, for charms, if
Because I was going alphabetically, stupidly, going through the charms and going, ooh, I like that one. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh,
yes,
I like that one.
Charms are
So I
8.
basically ran out by the time I got to my supernal ability.
They're 8 if they're your caster favored, or supernal in this case. So it's just 8 XP for that.
Okay. So what's it cost to do up your abilities or attributes?
Abilities are current times 2, and -1 if it is a favored
Okay.
or cast.
And then attributes, new times 5
Times 4.
times 4.
Yep.
And so right now we have a total of 5 XP.
You do. And Dan would really like to spend that solar XP on the charms, but unfortunately that's the one thing they can't do.
Yep.
Yeah, attributes, abilities, specialties, merits, willpower, martial arts, charms, invocations, and spells are all valid. As are things you get with Eclipse anima powers, sorcerer's workings, or charms with experience points cost in their activation. So there are actually some charms that you have to expend XP on, kind of like back in D&D, some of the earlier editions, you would actually have to spend XP to do magic
And how
items and stuff
some
like
monsters did level damage or XP
yeah,
damage.
yeah. Those, I'm glad that's gone. I'm so glad that's gone. It was hard enough to keep track of everything normally, but now you have to individually keep track of who's lost levels and how and why, and then you'd have your monstrous levels that you had to pay for some races, and one of the books later on added options in to buy those levels off with XP eventually. Fun stuff.
Yeah. That sounds a lot of fun.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. So the solar experience, you can't spend them on charms, but you can spend them on other things.
Anything else, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't know why they specifically did charms.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say why. But that's what they did.
Seems like it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I would, like, normally when you're getting, like, XP towards what it is you do, solar experience, because you are a solar, you can spend that on, like, increasing your essence.
Actually,
or
if you
buying
think
charms.
about it, well,
Oh yeah, how much does it cost to up your essence?
Essence is not listed. There is something specific about essence, and I don't remember exactly how that went. I don't know if I have it here. Oh, it's you need 50 experience points, and you just become essence too. Like is the way it works.
Oh, okay.
so keep track of your basically. you
But
gotta
that
keep track of
doesn't
total.
that doesn't count your solar XP. That
Okay.
only counts your regular XP.
Turn with 7 right now. Cut my larceny. Larceny is lying, right?
Larceny is stealing.
Oh, steal.
Stealing, breaking and entering,
Larcenous activities.
yeah, all kinds of things like that.
So new times 2.
It said current times 2 actually.
Oh, current times 2?
Yeah. Current
So
rating
if
times
you have
2,
below
not new. So your current rating times, yeah. So it's significantly cheaper than it is in World of Darkness.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All around the board. New abilities are 3, specialties 3, merits are times 3, and they're new rating times 3. So actually, merits are more expensive than just about anything except attributes.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Another thing I needed to mention is the time period of the year that we're at, because it's actually kind of important. The thing that has just occurred is called calibration. You guys were actually out during it, which is generally considered to be a no-no. It's dangerous during calibration. This is basically it's equivalent to like the New Year, and it's a week-long event that occurs every year. In Exalted, every month has the same number of days. There's 12 months, and then there's an extra week where basically all the rules break down for a little bit while creation resets itself. So during that time period,
Okay, we're good.
alright, we seem to have had some technical difficulties and just lost a period of time, but we'll try to get back where we were. I was in the middle of explaining calibration, which is to say every year has 12 months in this world. Each month has exactly the same number of days, and calibration is kind of like a cross between like New Year's and Passover.
And the purge.
And the purge, maybe. You basically have a week-long event that occurs where the entire world and all the rules about it kind of reset. And when that happens, a lot of things, a lot of bad things come out and wander the countryside, and a lot of good things become bad, and et cetera, et cetera. So some places have their own little version of the purge where, yeah, there's no laws today. Other places basically, lock the doors and bar the windows and have a nice family meal and hope nothing comes knocking. But
And if it does, they lose their firstborn.
yeah, maybe it could be worse. So that just happened in the world just before our first session started. Whitewall had that deal to keep the Pilgrim's Road open, and so basically as soon as calibration happens, they have 1 day's time to set up their sacrifice, I guess, or their charitable donation. And for some reason that didn't go as planned this year, and so the deal is off, or the treaty is off right now.
Okay.
The treaty has been broken.
It has been broken. So we are going to pick up again with 3 travelers and some companions walking down the road towards Whitewall. Go ahead and describe yourselves. So starting with Tim.
Starting with me. Okay, so I am Morez. I'm a Nightcast. So I'm a average height guy, maybe a little shorter than normal. Got some like tan, coppery skin, brown hair, brown eyes. Kind of your average Joe, but I'm very dexterous. I have on me a short sword, knife, and I'm carrying a staff. I have a buff jacket on. Yeah, that's me that you can see right now.
What was your name again?
Morez.
Morez.
M-O-R-E-Z.
Scott?
I am Siku, S-I-K-U.
S-I-K-U.
I am a Dawn cast, as big and as ugly as they come, literally, as far as game mechanics go.
Mm-hmm.
I am from the Northern Tribes, and yeah, I have a big avalanche that follows me when I trigger my anima.
Yeah. And really, your anima banner is always there with you. It just isn't visible unless you are putting enough essences basically flowing through it.
Right. So I'm just always followed by an avalanche.
That's kind of scary.
And I'm sure people like innately can sense that.
Cold wind, a little bit of a rumble sometimes.
That might just be your stomach.
Yeah.
Little column A, little column B.
Are you hungry?
Is that an earthquake? Nah, Siku's just hungry.
Need that baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Dan?
I'm playing Otto Eriksson, the Marshal of Peace. He is average height for the north, which probably means he's like 6'1". His anima is a double-headed eagle, and he wears a very nice buff jacket that is blue and gray with gold piping. And he has 1 or 2 medals that he wears.
All right. So, as you guys are surely approaching the wall by now, those who have been there know that you're very close.
That's me.
Oh, and his
I came
triangle
from the
goatee.
wall.
Him too. He's been there before.
Oh.
He's been stationed out of here. And in fact, the guys in his party are what's on the wagon is a bunch of furs from further north. That's what he's just traded for. And, well, we'll get into that. So, as they are traveling through, the mist has not let up from last night.
Okay.
Despite the fact that you're pretty sure the sun has come up now, you can kind of sense it to your left. But the mountains kind of cover it, so you're not sure where it is. It's not above your horizon, but surely it's above the main horizon by now. So go ahead and make some perception checks.
We get to re-roll this! Yeah!
You get to re-roll it. Maybe get better, maybe get worse. We'll see.
I know, we all got pretty good last time.
Yeah, you guys got pretty good last time.
I got better.
Oh.
I got better too.
I did not.
I will have 7 successes.
Okay.
I will have 6 successes.
Well, the two of you prodigies over there
I got 2.
hear a voice that sounds like it's coming directly from above you.
Okay.
Can't really see anything above you, but it sounds like that's where it's coming from. You hear a voice saying, "Travelers approaching!" And then immediately after that, you hear a very long, very powerful horn going off. Just a
Ricola.
Sure.
Is it 1 blast for Rangers returning?
Yeah.
2 for Wildlings?
Wait, it's 2 for Wildlings. I was gonna do 2 then. Maybe it should be 2.
Or no, is it 1 for Wildlings,
Yeah,
2
no,
for Rangers?
I think it's 1 for Rangers, 2 for Wildlings, 3 for
White
White
Walkers.
Walkers. So, in this case, they're not seeing anything too dangerous about you.
So they haven't
Because
spotted me yet.
They do see a large figure in the middle, and so,
They might think you're a giant.
yeah,
I am a giant.
He is a giant. You, with your magnificent ears there, will start hearing like people moving up to the wall, and you're hearing like some kind of weapon being drawn, and you might even hear like the tension in the bowstrings. Which
I will grab the largest rock I can find.
Put my hand out.
I will disappear behind the tall guy.
I will yell up to the wall in High Realm.
okay.
Travelers approaching.
There he is.
What? What the fuck are you saying?
Oh, don't worry about saying cuss words, but it doesn't matter here on this show.
Yeah, because we're adults doing adult things. Well, in role-playing games.
Captain! There's somebody with a high, fancy voice trying to talk.
I will switch to Northern. And I say,
I say, boy!
That's Southern, not Northern.
That's fire tongue. Not quite.
oh no. Let us in, you twit. We've just survived hell.
Oh, that's got them really convinced them to let us in.
You hear another voice. I'm not the best at German, but I'll try it. This guy has more of a Germanic voice, and it's... Who is this? Who is coming?
Otto Eriksson and party.
Who the frack is Otto Harrison? And what's a party?
Do you have a pass?
I do.
Stay there.
I do, right?
Yeah, you have you have
Well, if not, we'll find out in a minute.
you have legitimate business with the city.
Yeah.
You guys hear a rumbling sound directly ahead of you, and like you see a seam of light open up like directly in front of the road. It's not bright like sunlight. It's torchlight, but giant gate doors start opening, and these things have got to weigh several tons each.
Yeah.
Like massive
They're like
stone
20,
doors.
30 feet high.
Easy.
20, 30
You
feet
gotta
wide.
wonder-
You could march an army out of this or into this, assuming you had.
You gotta wonder, why do they need such big doors?
Oh, I know why.
Because I can't go into the city otherwise.
You are 20, 30 feet tall. At most, you're like 9.
I'm like 10 feet
They
tall.
Yeah.
start opening, and you can like feel them. Like they're not getting further apart as they're coming right towards you. These things must have been not that far ahead of you. And there's a sort of a moment where you want to take a step back before they finally start spreading apart, like almost brushing in front of you guys.
Wow.
And a couple guys appear carrying torches. They've got to be completely blind right now because all they're seeing is fog. And sure enough, they almost walk right into you. But for every guy holding a torch, there's 2 or 3 guys with spears leveled. And up walks a man in a very nice uniform. It's not immaculate, maybe, but it's very, very nice. The armor is very shiny, and he carries a helmet in one arm. He comes up to you and yes, says, "You're just checking."
Just checking. Don't want to have a more technical issue, so I checked the camera. That's why it shook.
Okay.
Which we'll cut out and you won't see, so.
Yeah.
The man has like dark or sort of a brownish colored hair, parted in the middle, coming down on both sides. Amazing mustache, little bit of a goatee, and
Like French twirled mustache?
no, like
this
like
is-
really bushy, thick mustache.
Yeah.
Okay.
19th century German.
Gotcha.
And
I thought you were going to say 1970s pedophile.
no, because I imagine it's waxed. Is it waxed or is it just
No, it's
just
well,
heavy?
It's heavy and it's together.
Okay.
It may be waxed to keep it tight, but yeah, it's a pretty big mustache. I'm General Boltzmann. Well,
What's-
hopefully we fixed our issues here. So third time's the charm here. Sorry, folks. So we were General Boltzmann was introducing himself. So
Yeah, General Boltzmann, and then yeah.
I'm General Boltzmann, and you are Otto.
Yes, Otto Eriksson.
Otto Eriksson. What is your business in the city?
Trade. We have furs and gems from the north.
Let's see. Papers, please.
Dig into my coat. Pull them out. Which one?
Kind of holds them back a bit. Reaches into his like vest. He has like a coat of arms kind of thing with a vest in it. Pulls it out. Pulls out some glasses. Yes. Oh. Papers are in order. You were out during calibration. This
Yeah.
makes you very brave. Or foolish.
I smile. It was unavoidable.
I see. Well, I respect bravery. And also trade with the North. You are free to pass. Do not cause any trouble and what is that?
As he says you're free to pass, I just nonchalantly, but as hard as I can, toss the boulder.
Message for yourself. No.
Or the Wilhelm scream, or
Yeah.
pick your favorite sound effect.
I say he is the reason we are brave.
I see. Keep it on a leash.
When he says that, I'm going to suddenly have a rope in my hand and have the noose, have the rope like tied around his neck.
Where's the rope come from?
I have it in my pack.
Okay.
I have it in my stuff.
And I'll allow it for now because, you know, could be fun.
Alright. He, like, brushes his mustache. Looks around at everybody.
I mirror the gesture with my goatee.
Yes, yes, yes. He turns around. His guards part in both directions, and he starts proceeding, almost at a parade march ahead of you guys, expecting you to follow, presumably.
Yeah, I get the wagons going.
All right.
And then,
Wagons ho!
As you guys start heading through the gate, the guards take up positions on both sides of you, and as soon as you head through the gate, you can hear it like start making sounds as it starts coming back. It doesn't make as much sound as something that size and that thick. We're talking significantly thick. Should sound a lot louder, but it is still, whatever they're using to quiet it, it still is loud enough.
I was gonna say, do we even hear like chains or anything clinking
Yeah.
as it's?
There, you
Or
would
is it
you would
like
hear
steel
some kind
rope?
of mechanism going.
And I'm going to look down at the guard next to me and lift my hood and smile really big.
The guy kind of like grips his spear a little bit tighter, and you can kind of see sweat coming down the side of his face. But as you do that, going from your perception from earlier, you guys hear, you can hear some like rasping sounds, and like look up and you can see little slits in the roof.
Arrow slits and murder holes.
Yes, all along the way. And occasionally you can see eyes looking out at you from inside of there. There is also, the roof is kind of blackened from years of like torches
Yeah.
putting soot up into the roof.
Okay.
but the walls further down are of some kind of white stone that sort of looks slick. Not really sure what it's made of.
It reflects light really well.
Yeah. But as you continue on, the tunnel, you can kind of notice a slight upward slant as you go. You're slowly gaining altitude. And you can see, as you go, progressively, several different gates set into the wall that are currently open for you guys to pass. But you can imagine it would be a hell of a time getting through gate after gate after gate if you were an attacking army.
Yeah.
This tunnel just seems to keep going. Eventually, you get to a part where it turns 90 degrees, and it gets kind of narrow just before it does. There's another gate there that's also open, and then you start heading sort of to the right of where you were before. Make a war test, logic or intelligence war, if anybody wants to.
Oh, good.
2, 3, 4.
4.
Yeah, you'd have a hell of a time attacking this place with a battering ram and like trying to turn it 90 degrees to attack a gate like this. And
That's
it
why
looks
it's got me.
Yeah, sure. But there are other ways, but it would still be a pain
Give
in
us
the
the
butt.
gate key. I have no gate key. Fessick, tear his arms off.
Oh, you
This gate key.
I am the Dwayne Pilot Wobbuts.
You travel this to the right for a while, and then again it turns to the left. Interesting note, this gate, like the ones before, have been open like this way, so if they'd shut, they would shut in front of you and couldn't go forward. This one is the opposite. It opens up this way, and so you could seemingly force it in.
Okay.
And then as you turn again, you see more gates, and again they're set this other way. So it seems like this central location could defend against attacks from either side of the wall. But eventually, you get to the end of this tunnel, and there's not a lot of talking. I mean, the guards are, some of them somewhat nonchalant. The ones near him are a little bit less so.
Are they trying to just sort of flank him, or have they
The whole
taken a
group.
position?
They've taken position before.
I'm the
and
only
after
one
the
that's
wall.
unarmed.
Yes, but it doesn't matter when your arms are as big as they are. A giant is never unarmed.
I mean, I'll put down my sword and you'll put down your stone, and we'll try to kill each other like civilized people.
I could kill you now. See your point.
And no, I'm not going to start rhyming.
Thanks.
Stop driving. I mean it.
You eventually come to a closed gate at the very end, and like Boltzmann takes up position almost at attention right before it. He seems to have a little bit of extra weight around the middle section. That might be because of padding under his armor. It's not, you can't say for sure, but he does seem to be a little bit extra weight carried.
Okay.
The gate opens, very much like the previous one, but this time onto a courtyard. The courtyard is surrounded by very tall buildings,
Okay.
and then has like narrow roadways out of it, fairly narrow, but several of them kind of radiating out.
Okay.
And to the sides, right along the wall, there's a road that goes both directions. It's tiled, or not tiled,
Paved.
paved, and looks like about wide enough to do like even a chariot you could ride down either way
Okay.
between the buildings and the wall, and that's kept pretty clear. But this big courtyard here sort of has a market atmosphere to it. There's a lot of people about, although it doesn't seem like a lot of commerce is going, more gossip and talking. And as soon as you walk in, all the eyes turn towards you. Well, towards Boltzmann, I guess he's in the lead. He kind of accepts all of everyone's attention and then marches forward, again at sort of a parade march kind of style.
Okay.
As-
I'm going to nonchalantly disappear.
All right, so that'll be, we'll go wits plus stealth, since it's a more of a crowd kind of stealth.
If you notice, we do everything nonchalantly.
I'm going to nonchalantly drop this boulder way over there.
That's our group name, the Nonchalant Group.
Yeah. Nonchalance.
Seven.
Not as good as last time, was it?
No.
We'll take your roll from previous. It was 7 successes. Yeah. Basically, as soon as you're through the gate, no one really notices you coming out, and then you're just one of the people in the crowd. You're like, oh, look, weird people coming into town. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you've been here the whole time.
And I'm just trying to be as covered as possible so people can't see.
All right.
Down.
You can make that roll as well, although
Yeah.
you have a much higher threshold to reach.
Yeah. Well, I know it's not something I can totally do, but I'm just
Right.
trying to
It's
mitigate the.
effects.
And that's going to be 2 successes.
All right. I mean, you kind of hunch down a little bit, so people can't quite tell exactly how tall you are, but
I'm more
You are
concerned
still.
with them actually seeing
Your face,
me
yeah.
and stuff. You know.
yeah. All right.
And I want to try and get people's attention to come buy our wares.
Oh, okay. You actually have a specific contract for these. I mean, you might have some extra, but you have a specific contract for most of what you're bringing with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so it's already pre-sold.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, like you set up an agreement, an agreement to pay by wholesale what you're bringing, and there's a.
You're the distributor.
Yes. Well, kind of. Yeah, there's a guy here that's
My guild
a
contract.
clothing not.
Okay.
I don't want to say like weaver because he's not weaving furs, but a leather
tanner or
worker,
tailor.
a tanner or tailor. Yeah. Tailor. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a tailor that's agreed to buy all these winter clothes.
Okay. Cool.
There is one thing you do here coming through here. Like everyone else kind of quiets up and looks at you guys, but there's a voice droning on in the edge of the crowd, sort of like standing up on a small wall kind of thing. And if you've ever played Skyrim and made it to Whiterun, you'll recognize the voice, the Talos prophet guy. He's going on and on about how the people aren't serving the gods correctly.
He's probably right.
Yeah.
But I prefer my
And
crazy
so he spoke to us on the holy day, and you are not done.
Yes. And
really don't know this
part
thing.
of his rhetoric right now has to do with that the sacrifices the city has been making have been incorrect. You've been making the sacrifices to the wrong people, or you as in the plural.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Kind of strange that I don't know. Well, from your knowledge of the city, it does seem kind of strange that this is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Quick question.
Yes.
If he's now disguised in the crowd, does that mean the rope is just hanging from my neck and no one has
No,
it?
I passed it to the guy standing next to me.
So one of my followers now
There's
has it.
one of the followers like.
Probably doesn't even realize he's holding it.
Where'd the?
I'll put my hand out for him to hand me the end of the rope.
He hands you the rope.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no like. Oh God, yes, you can have it. Please don't hurt me. They saw what you did back there.
I mean,
last night.
he said keep me on the leash. He didn't say who had to be holding me on the leash.
It's true. Boltzmann like leads you into the courtyard
have a
until
rope.
everyone's through, and then like turns on his heel and like clears his throat. Now, as long as you are in the city, make certain that you obey the laws of Whitewall. There are to be no stealing, no injuries, no trouble. As long as that is kept and upheld, then the protections of Whitewall are yours and shall keep you safe. Very
Excellent.
well. And he turns, comes to clicks his heels and whatnot, and then marches to the side, and his men like do the same thing, and then march off to either side. You can see like sort of a platform that goes up the wall a ways, and then there's an inset, like a doorway there.
Mm-hmm.
The structure that it leads up to that does not look very sturdy.
Of course it doesn't.
And Boltzmann does not go up to the structure. He actually goes a little bit further, and there's a elevator for him.
A dumbware? Or
Kind of, yeah.
Guys sitting pulling the rope just for him.
Yep.
Funny.
And he wanted to talk to us, didn't he?
Yes. There was. Sorry. He was going to leave you instructions to meet with one of his agents later. Because they needed to find out what you had seen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The instructions are to meet with this person at the base of the palace in by lunchtime, so by midday.
Okay. I will send my followers along to complete the contract,
Okay.
make delivery, and
Head in that direction.
yeah.
Okay. It's actually the palace is actually
I do want to give the crazy street preacher some cash, though.
the street creatures.
The street
Preacher.
Oh, preacher. You want to give him some money?
Yeah.
Okay. Throw some coins down. Okay. Like a lot or little or?
Enough that he will remember me,
Okay.
but not so much that he will call attention to the transaction.
All right. Yes, he nods at you and continues his tirade. The palace is actually up on the wall, the main palace. It's at the west end, and like set up into the mountain, and then there's like sections of it coming down the mountainside until it gets down to the base of the city level, and so you're meeting somebody there.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's called the Palace of the Syndics.
Syndics?
Yes.
Syndics.
S-Y-N-D-I-C. S.
Could you spell that?
S-Y-N-D-I-C. Apostrophe S. The Syndics are actually the leaders of this city. They are 3 gods that together represent both silver and ice, I believe it was. And they are gods, like little g gods that rule this city.
So the ones that are playing the games of whatever?
No. Those are the big G gods.
Okay. Right. There were the primordials who are now imprisoned in basically hell. There's the big G gods who are playing the games.
Yeah.
And then the little G gods they've left. And
The
then
little G gods are basically just powerful spirits or elementals, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
There's basically some kind of spirit for everything.
Okay.
Everything
right.
from this die to dice in general to games that involve dice. There's a spirit for everything. Every emotion, every
It's like
disease.
Rule 34.
Yeah, they're kind of like that.
For every umbrella that covers this thing.
Yeah, and so the syndics are just powerful spirits that have gained some like they have enough essence that they can physically project themselves whenever they see fit. They receive worship from the people of the city, presumably to maintain their power.
Okay.
And yeah, there's no presumably. There's definite. Yeah, no question about that. That's how they maintain their
Control.
power, their control.
Cool.
Are you two guys?
Do we want to avoid them?
Not necessarily. You probably don't want to like.
Anger them.
Well, yeah. You
Well, no.
definitely
My
don't anger
concern
them,
is they're going to be like, oh, solars,
yeah.
and off we go to a pit.
So here's the thing: they probably have abilities to detect you, if those are currently active, but they have to activate them.
Okay.
So as long as
They
you're
have to
not
have reason to
Yes.
activate them.
exactly. So there are ways of detecting powerful individuals. That would mean not necessarily that you're solars. That would mean that you are probably dragon blooded in disguise.
Yeah. Okay.
So they wouldn't necessarily know you were solars right away. They would know that there's something. Yeah, that these guys are packing some heat.
Yeah.
What heat that is, you know.
Okay.
But there are other things. There's
Sure.
also like they can have
Dragon
children
blooded.
with humans, and those are god blooded, and they can actually give those people a measure of their power. They're not exalted level, but they can get strong enough to even cast spells and get their own kind of charms.
Nephilim, basically.
Yeah, basically. The god blooded are oftentimes a lot more, and the expectation of most people is that he's god blooded. That's what they're gonna think. Either he's a wild mutant or he's god blooded, and since he's not eating everybody, he's probably god blooded. He's not. He's,
So, for the sake of our disguise, should I?
start calling him Papa.
Then start eating people.
Oh, start eating people.
We don't want you. Then people
No.
think you're a wild mutant.
No.
Wild mutants are bad.
Yeah, wild mutants tend to go pretty crazy pretty quickly, and try to destroy creation and whatnot. Although they usually travel in groups and tribes and whatnot. You don't usually have them by themselves.
Hmm.
Because by yourself you die pretty quick eventually.
Mm.
Anyway, so you guys are headed to the palace. The fastest way to get there is actually right along the wall here, the main thoroughfare there. Your people head off into the city.
Yeah.
Your agent that you're meeting with is Dalton. How to get the right name. I had several names on the same page. Alright.
My name is Smith. You know, I knew a Smith back in such and such. No relation.
No, really.
Okay.
So, you guys head along the wall. It's a good journey, and it actually, curves a little bit as you go to your right. The wall seems to be, this sort of shape.
Yeah.
With the northern side being the inner side of the circle.
To allow crossfire from both sides.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is...
Is it a mile or two that we're walking, or is it
Yeah.
longer than that?
It's probably... And yeah, you were about halfway through the wall. It's well over a mile that you guys are traveling. Probably closer to 2 miles. It's a pretty significant distance. And you are slowly kind of going uphill again as you
Yeah.
go this way.
Okay.
Alright. You arrive at the lower palace. There is a much more ornate gate. The wall itself is some sort of maybe alabaster, almost looks like.
Okay.
But alabaster wouldn't
If we're close enough, I will.
run your hand against it. It's fairly smooth, and you can almost feel like a vibration in it. And it's like white quartz kind of a feel, like if somebody somehow managed to make smooth or a good finish on white quartz.
Don't think I have a charm for that. Not that I would want to spend one.
Gonna get a microscopic view of it.
Actually, I'm thinking I'm gonna do hearing and touch.
Okay. activate those. Okay.
Yeah.
How much essence was that?
3.
Okay. So no display effect. Because that would be bad right now.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, yeah, your cast mark disappeared during the walk up to the wall.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I knew it would.
Yeah. It doesn't take too long to go away, just a one level of display. Go ahead and roll a perception plus awareness. And whatever bonuses your charm gives you.
Oh, this is for him to figure out what the thing is.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
He wants to know what the wall is made of.
Four.
Okay. With a closer look at it, you think you can see occasional seams. This thing appears mostly seamless, but you can see that, yeah, there's some seams in there. There's no like mortar lines, so this is, you know, flush, whatever it is. And with hearing,
And touch.
yeah, and you touch it, whatever, but the touching is feeling you occasionally feel
Okay.
a little bit of the seam. With the hearing, and I guess also with the touch, you can kind of sense the vibration.
Do I get a direction?
Actually, it seems reflective. You're not sure exactly, but you kind of have the feeling that maybe the sun has something to do with it.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Charging it, maybe. Interesting.
so as you approach the lower palace, there is a different style of guard here. The guys you met before were soldiers.
Yeah.
These guys are Royal Guard. So their uniform is a lot fancier. These are not like British Royal Guard where they've got like, or you know, like the guard at the unknown soldier or whatever that has a ceremonial weapon. These are, yes, they're ceremonial, but they're also very effective weapons.
Okay.
So they look fancy, and also they are.
Yeah.
They are legitimate weapons.
Okay. But were they designed to be weapons first, or were they designed to look good first?
Weapons first, I think
What-
is what he's...
They're
Yeah, what I
fully
mean- what I mean,
functional.
Yeah, they're fully functional, but they did add some artistry to them.
Okay.
And
Like my knife.
Mhm.
let's see, there is two guys, the like two guys that seem to be in charge here, actually have jade weapons. We'll say a white jade. Yeah, they're probably both white jade. 'Cause white jade is the more common in the north.
Hmm.
Oh wait, am I getting that right? South is red, east is green, west is blue, center is it white or black? No, I can't remember. I think it's black center and white north.
Okay.
All right. So air is white. So they have white jade weapons. They have matching pole arms.
Okay.
And so you approach. Halt.
Greetings.
Greetings, citizen. What is your purpose here at the palace?
I was asked by General Boltzmann to speak with Dalton.
Oh, no, Dalton's your contact that you're selling the things to.
Oh, okay.
That he has just that you're supposed to
Oh.
meet with a
General
functionary.
Dalton asked me to meet with
Functionary.
his agent.
Hmm. You have news of the north then?
I do.
Hmm. Very well. And he signals a couple guys in the gatehouse, like open up the gates. They're made out of like whatever the metal is underneath. They're like gilded, and they come open. They kind of like fit together like this sort of thing, and then slide apart as they're opening.
Even the doors.
Even the doors.
Anyway.
One of the guards comes with you. Follow me, please.
I do so.
And he moves forward, holding the spear out, like just above the butt end, just above the ground, and he holds it at this position as he walks forward.
Now the question is, did I follow you guys here or did I not?
I
Well,
asked.
since you didn't say no,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah. Point taken.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way you can hide it.
If there
You
was
can
a
be
really big rock,
There's a really big wall right there. I can hide right behind it.
they'll never see
He
me.
never sees me.
Puts his face against it.
They can't see me because I can't see them.
But I found these 4 white horses.
Are all 4 of them for you?
I figured since there are 4 of us, if we ever find a lady, hello, lady.
You did something right.
I'll try not to let it go to my head.
The guy shows you up to sort of a smaller palace, and by smaller I mean it's still pretty grand. Over to one side. This way, please. There will be someone sent to meet with you shortly. And there's double doors, fortunately, so you can get through, that open up. These are wood. They're fine wood, like a hardwood. They open up and let you inside. Inside is a waiting room, or like an entry room, and it's got a big, huge, roaring fire in the center, and then some furniture arrayed around it.
Cool.
There's a couple other people, and they're waiting, who, eyes get a little bit big, and, a couple of them scooch over, or
They're afraid
stand
of
up
your
and walk
goatee.
away.
Yep.
There's also a decanter in the middle of the
I'm
main
secretly
table
really liking having you along.
that has some sort of wine inside.
I grabbed the rope again.
Oh, okay.
No.
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 No, he doesn't relinquish it. So you can be walking along as if you're being walked.
You can grab the end, but I still have the.
You have the end. So
There's
you can
like
grab
this
part
much
of it.
out the end. You can grab that section.
That's good.
Or he can grab the loop.
Yep. So he's being the person walked.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll actually take it off my neck.
Okay.
Can I have it back?
Toss it at him.
Yeah.
I smile at everybody. Good morning.
Go over and pour myself a glass of the wine.
It's a very strong. Takes a bit of the chill off.
Look back at them. This is good.
The South always has good wine. Pour myself a glass. I'll pour one for him as well.
Alright.
Offer it.
I will hold it.
Yeah.
I will offer the nearest person a refill if they have a glass.
You can hear a clock ticking on the mantle.
Tick.
At least when you guys aren't moving around and talking.
Dave, quiet. I will.
Slowly gets closer to noon.
I will try and engage some of these people in conversation, find out who they are,
Okay.
if they're petitioners or.
Make a charisma and socialize roll. Your appearance is 3, so you get an extra die in this.
Cool.
How many would I get with an appearance of 5?
With socialize, you wouldn't. You would get a penalty of 5. I might take away some of that penalty because most of you's covered up.
Good thing you're dressed.
Does my exceptional
I
buff
think I'm not
jacket
playing a nudist this
give
time.
me anything?
Yep.
I
'Cause I have
would
played
consider
those.
that to be part of the appearance.
Okay, cool.
Unless it specifically there was some kind of rule saying otherwise. Okay.
So you're trying to socialize?
Yep.
Yeah.
1, 2. You break the ice. There's one gentleman that agrees to talk to you.
But their business is their own, basically. Is the,
Yeah. But Do you mention that you've been to the north?
No.
Okay.
No, if they're fairly close-lipped about
their
what they're
business.
doing here, I will be the same.
All right.
I'm just gonna find a section and sit against the wall and watch everybody.
All right.
Was the fog on this side of the wall? Okay.
No.
Because I was like, maybe we'll just talk about the weather, and then I'll be like, crazy fog, eh? And it's like, fog?
I mean,
So I figured I would check
beautiful
to make
day.
sure. The fog was only on that side.
Yeah,
before I
fog's
said
only
that.
on that side. The sun was up on this side, and it
Yep.
was bright and whatnot.
Okay.
Within a couple minutes of you guys getting in here, maybe 15, 20, somebody comes in, looks over at you, looks around the room. Yes. Sir Erickson, we'll see you now.
And I'll get up and follow.
Yeah. He comes up to the door to like the study and is like, reaches down and like pulls out a little stopper in the other door to open the other side.
I say thank you.
And they see you into a down a hallway and into another room. In this other room is a long table with a lot of chairs around it, and sitting at he stands up as you walk in. He's very well dressed, clean shaven. His clothing is sort of rich, short cut furs. His hair's styled. Still looks somewhat like a soldier, so he has something of a military look to his outfit, but it does look like he's not in uniform specifically. Greetings, I'm Constantine. Please, sit. Tell me, what have you seen to the north? And we will fill in that part next time.
Okay.
Join us next time on Hit or Glitch.
Yeah, as we
Peace.
find out what our heroes do or say.